Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm going to read to you chapters 5 and 6 of I Was a Third Grade Spy. When we left off in chapter 4, the boys were having a little bit of an argument. Dougie wanted to turn Arful back to his normal dog self, but Brian did not want that to happen. They think that Arful is a scientific miracle. So now in chapter 5, we're on Arful's point of view. Here we go. There's a park on the corner of our street where I wait every day for Brian to come home from school. I used to wait right outside the school, but they made me stop doing that because I couldn't remember not to bark. It's just that I would think of something to tell Brian, and I'd bark it out right then. It didn't work, though, because human ears aren't very good, and Brian didn't understand dog talk anyway. Now everything is different. For the first time, I can talk when I run over to meet them. Hi, guys. Want to play stick? Brian puts his hand over my muzzle. Shh! Didn't I tell you not to talk in public? I shake Brian's hand loose. What's public? Is this public? Any place where other people can hear you is public. Brian looks around. Did you say anything to the guy sitting over there on the bench reading? You mean the man who has a German Shepherd at home and had eggs for breakfast? You were talking with him? Brian drops to his knees and puts his arm around my neck. This is not a hug. No, not exactly, I say, pulling away. He has German Shepherd scent on his pant legs and eggshell scent on his fingers. Also rye toast. He cooks his own breakfast. Dougie sits on the ground next to me. That's awesome, buddy. You can tell all that stuff by smell. What can you tell about me? Well, I begin. Your shirt tells me what you did all weekend. Saturday morning you ate some fried... If he starts talking about your smells, we'll be here all night, Josh says. Let's get out of here. Here comes Emily Venable. Oh no, Brian moans. Emily has a crush on you, Brian, Dougie says in a high voice like a girl. Brian grabs me by the collar, but we're too late to get away. Funny. This girl doesn't look big enough to crush anybody, but I'll keep an eye on her just in case. Hi, Brian. Have you thought of something to do for the talent show next Monday night? We're working on it. Brian keeps his eyes on me and puts his finger to his lips. I know that means no barking. I wonder if it means no talking, too. Probably not. Sit and stay each have their own signs. No talking must have one, too. The girl laughs. It's a nasty laugh. I let my lip curl up just a little to let her know who's boss. You're working with these two again? She asks. Wasn't the science fair humiliating enough for you? I don't know what humiliating means, but I can tell she hurt Brian's feelings. I don't like this girl. You're not a nice person, I say. The girl's head spins towards Josh, and then me. Josh steps in front of me. You're being mean to my friends, I say, peering around his knees. The girl makes a face. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Stick? I ask. You want to play stick? Funny, she doesn't look like the stick-playing type. Dougie grabs the stick and talks in a low voice. He sounds sort of like me. Want to play stick, buddy? Come on, let's go. He runs off and I follow, keeping my eye on that stick the whole time. But Dougie doesn't want to play stick at all. He stops close by and pretends to be petting me. I can tell he's trying to hear what the girl is saying to Brian. You're all weird, she says. You couldn't come up with an act for the talent show if your lives depended on it. I'm planning to do something with Lissa Franken and Cara Leone, and we're going to win. Oh yeah? Josh says. The girl looks at him through slit eyes, just like a cat's. Makes the hair on the back of my neck bristle. I don't think you have any ideas at all. Well, that's where you're wrong, Emily, Josh says. We just happen to have a great act, and we're going to win. Now we're in trouble, Dougie whispers. And just to let you know how sure we are of winning, Brian says, you girls get to order us around in school for a whole week if we lose. Dougie groans. Now we're in big trouble. The girl smiles, but it's not a happy smile. It's mean, like a cat. Deal. And if we lose, you get to order us around. She turns to leave, then looks over her shoulder. Of course, that won't happen, because we're not going to lose. We all watch as she walks away. If that girl had a tail, it would have been twitching. The way a cat struts right after she swatted some poor unsuspecting dog. I smell trouble. Chapter 6. So now we hear from the boys. After the bet with Emily, Brian kept coming up with more useless ideas for our talent show act. His final plan was off the wall. After school on Tuesday, he had us dress up as girls, using his mother's old wigs and clothes from a trunk in their attic. We were supposed to lip sync a song from one of her old CDs. When we looked at ourselves in the mirror, we almost fell over laughing. At first, Arfel seemed spooked by the way we looked. He stayed in the corner growling at us, as if he couldn't figure out who we were. Then he must have caught our scent, because he finally calmed down and fell asleep. This is perfect, Brian said. He had on a long blonde wig and was wearing a bright orange, short dress. With his skinny legs sticking out of the bottom, he looked like a popsicle with hair. Dougie could have been a clone of the Good Witch from the East from Oz, with a bright red, puffy wig and a ruffled pink prom dress. He had tried to put on some sticky false eyelashes, but one was stuck to his eyebrow, and the other was flapping off the ends of his own lashes. He twirled around the room until he tripped over his sneaker laces. I felt ridiculous in a slinky purple dress, and even more ridiculous when Brian plopped on my head a brown, curly wig that was too big and almost covered my eyes. You look great, he said. We almost don't even need to have an act at all. If we just stand on the stage in these outfits, we'll win for sure. Dougie stopped dead. Stand on the stage? Looking like this? People would still remember this when we're seniors in high school. They'd have pictures in the yearbook. I know, Brian said, admiring his reflection. Great, huh? Dougie put his hands on Brian's shoulders. One last blink sent the eyelash sliding straight down his cheek like a wounded centipede. Not great. We would never live this down. It's okay for messing around in the attic, but if you think I'm going out in public like this, you're crazy. Brian turned to me. Okay then, Josh. Okay, then Josh and I will do it. Right, Josh? I wrestled myself out of the stretchy purple dress. Wrong. I tossed the wig into the trunk but missed. It skimmed right past Arfel's nose. He woke up and dove for the wig. He grabbed it in his teeth and shook it. Then he let it drop to the floor. Don't worry, kids, he said. Whatever that thing was, it can't hurt you. I just killed it. After school on Wednesday, we had an emergency meeting in Brian's new treehouse. Brian pulled out his notebook. Since we can't come up with any ideas on our own, we need a new strategy. If we know what the girls are planning, we can come up with something better. Dougie caught my eye, and we both shook our heads. Arfel was sleeping in a patch of sunshine on the floor. All right, Brian said. Listen up. I heard the girls say that they were meeting this afternoon in Emily's playhouse to work on their act. I looked out the window. Emily lived on the next street over, just a couple of houses down from Brian's. We can see who goes in from here. Brian pushed up his glasses. That's not good enough. We need to know what they're talking about. We have to send in a spy. Dougie moaned. Oh no, you're not sending me in there. Relax, I said. They wouldn't let you in there. Josh is right, Brian said. They wouldn't let any of us in there. That's why we're sending Arfel. Arfel woke up when he heard his name. You're sending me where? To spy on the girls, Dougie said. Arfel wrinkled his nose. I don't like girls. They have a sickening, soapy smell. It's enough to make me throw my biscuits. Dougie grinned. You mean toss your cookies? Whatever, Arfel said. But you guys always smell great, especially you, Dougie. He sniffed the soles of Dougie's sneakers. Is that chicken manure? Yeah, Dougie said. I had to go into the chicken coop to collect the eggs this morning. Arfel closed his eyes and sniffed again. Ah, chicken is the best. The best! It has a rich, full aroma with bright overtones. It's my favorite thing to roll in, next to dead fish. Dougie laughed. How often do you run into a dead fish around here? Arfel sighed. Not often enough. All right, you guys, Brian snapped. Get serious. The girls will be over there any minute. Arfel, you have to remember not to say anything. Arfel raised an eyebrow. Even if somebody asks me a question? Especially if somebody asks you a question, Brian yelled. You can't let on about knowing how to talk. You're there to listen and gather information. Dougie snorted. You going to have him take the notebook? Brian shot Dougie a look and called Arfel over to the window. That's where you're going. See the little pink playhouse with the purple curtains? Yep. Just go over and wait until the girls arrive. You have to look cute so they let you in. And remember, no talking. No matter what happens, you don't say a word. It took about 10 minutes to coax Arfel down the ladder. He was much better at climbing up than going down. Then we sent him off and went back into the treehouse to watch. He took his place beside the playhouse, and a few minutes later we saw him wag his tail when the girls showed up. Perfect timing, Brian said. You think they'll let him in? I asked. My question was answered when Kara leaned down to pet him, then let him follow her into the playhouse. Brian wrote something in his notebook, then closed it, smiling. Operation Dog Spy has begun. End of chapter 6. We're going to stop there for today, and next we'll pick up with chapters 7 and 8. We'll see how Arfel makes out with the girls. Enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. I miss you.